please welcome to the stage the one, the only, the legendary, my friend Tom Cruise.
Thank you all so much. I mean, it's a real honor to be here. Now, I'm here to introduce Christopher McQuarrie, who is the Director of the Year. Now, McQ, as I like to call him, he's not one for hyperbole, he's not one to pat himself on the back, and openly discuss his extensive and invaluable contributions to cinema and to every single artist that has been lucky enough to work with him. Like the legendary producer Irving Thalberg, who never took credit, once said, "Credit you give yourself is not worth having." But that is why I'm here today, because I want to give credit to where credit is due, to an exceptional artist. Now, I want you to know there's no way that I can fully communicate everything McQ has done in this short period of time that we have today, but I'm going to do my very best to cover a few highlights and just give you a concept of who he is and what he does and what he has done. Now, most of you probably know that McQ and I have been working together for a very long time, and here's a shot of us on the set of Top Gun Maverick, which he not only wrote, but he co-produced. And of course, here we are in the photo of our very first film together, Jerry Maguire. I swear to you, we'll be out places and they'll come up and go, "I loved you and Jerry Maguire," to McQ. I swear to you. So I was like, this is... Anyway, obviously, that is the wonderful Jonathan Lipnicki. McQ's always so gracious. He goes, "Thank you so much. I really appreciate it." Doesn't want to embarrass them, okay? Anyway, seriously, here he is at 26 years old when he won the Oscar for Best Original Screenplay for Usual Suspects. Now, at that age, yes, please. Most people are still finding their voices at that age, but McQ had already written a film that changed the cinematic landscape. The Usual Suspects, it redefined the crime thriller genre, and obviously it is an all-time classic. And I followed McQ's career from that moment on, and of course, all of his different writings, his directorial debut. But it wasn't until Valkyrie that I had the opportunity to meet him in person, a screenplay that he wrote and he was set up and lined up to produce. So I had him come over, we met in LA, we met in my screening room, and we spent hours together talking about movies. And from that meeting, I knew that he was an artist that I was going to work with the rest of my life. I absolutely knew that. That he was a creative brother who shares the same love and passion for cinema. That he understood that it is not what we do, but that is creating films, that it's who we are. And Mission Impossible was the very first film that I ever produced, okay? So I studied movies, how do I make successful films? How do I create this kind of environment? One of the things with Mission Impossible that I realized right in the beginning is that, you allow geography to inform the motion and action as we're developing characters. And these films, they're a puzzle, they're a Rubik's Cube that are made under compression and under intense pressure. I mean, they are deceptively challenging films, and it utilizes every skill in filmmaking and as performers. And when I was making, Ghost Protocol, I knew that I had great geography. I had amazing set pieces, an amazing cast. I had Brad Bird at the helm. We'd shot in Prague. I had Dubai, the tallest building in the world. I couldn't wait to climb that, and we'd already shot this. That was a lot of fun, by the way. So now at this point in the film, I'd already shot most of the action, but I knew that I did not have the structural foundation yet. And Brad Bird and I were going back and forth trying to crack it, trying to find reasons why I'm moving from point A to point B and flesh out characters' dynamics that were just not coming together to my satisfaction. And look, this happens when you're making movies. You're constantly challenging your story and you're discovering your film. I mean, films just, it's not just there on the page. They're a living, breathing thing that you just have to constantly stay on top of and discover. So we were a good way through filming, and I called McQ. I was like, "Man, please, you got to come and help me." He came on set immediately, and I was actually standing there with Simon Pegg and Brad Bird, and we were shooting the scene. I'm holding up the gloves that I'm about to climb. I'd already shot all the action, the Burj, but I'm about to climb the Burj. And we're going back and forth. The scene's like, And So I'm holding the gloves up, and I see McHugh over there, and I say, come on, honey, you arrived to set. And there's Bird and Peg look at me quizzically, like, who's this guy, as we're trying to write this scene back and forth. And I didn't tell him that he was actually there to write the script. I just said, look. I was like, I quickly just introduced everyone, and I explained the scene to McHugh very briefly. And I just said, okay, there's a blue light and a red light. The blue means the gloves are sticking, and I'm able to stick to the wall, and the red means I don't stick. Now listen, without hesitation, McHugh goes, oh, well, blue is glue, red is dead. And then he proceeded to write the entire scene that we shot, like that. And I'll never forget Brad Bird, very, very talented writer, director, and Simon Pegg, talented actor and writer in his own right. They looked at me and was like, who the hell is this guy? And I just said, that's McHugh. So McHugh spent the next few days just writing on set, and here's a picture of him, with Brad Bird as he's writing. And he's, untangling the rest of our structure and laying the very foundation for our entire film, really in short order, okay? Now, you have to understand that he would write the scenes and we would shoot them immediately. Now, Christopher McQuarrie is the uncredited hero of that film, all right? It was a big hit for all of us, for Paramount, and put Skydance on the map. So next we went on to Jack Reacher. His cool aesthetic and sharp wit is very evident in that. And again, we worked on Edge of Tomorrow, working with the brilliant Doug Liman. Yes, a time-traveling alien film, okay? I mean, the most challenging structure any of us had ever faced, and the most sophisticated kind of storytelling, working not only as a writer, but providing tremendous work and advices in the editing room, okay? Now, he did the same thing with us on American Made, as well as Top Gun Maverick and just so many other films. And while we're working on Edge and preparing the next Mission Impossible, Rogue Nation, with McHugh at the helm as the director, he provided on the side, and again, uncredited, his invaluable talents to World War Z. Now, he restructured the entire film, wrote it, overseeing the edit and all the pickups, just while we're prepping everything else. And once again, to extraordinary effect and ensuring the tremendous success of that film with my friend Brad Pitt for Paramount Pictures and Skydance. Which, by the way, Brad's got the movie Pitt Formula One with Jerry Bruckheimer and Joe Kosinski. I can't wait to see that movie this summer. I'll be there opening weekend. It's gonna be awesome. It's great to see Brad driving. He's very good. He's a very good driver. Believe me, I've raced against him. Yeah, when we were doing Interview with the Vampire, we'd go and race go-karts against each other. We'd literally finish and then go drive go-karts all night. And he was a hell of a driver. He was. He was. So from there, we went on, many, different adventures. Okay, Rogue Nation. Okay, Fallout. Okay. That's literally on the plane. I'm about to jump out. And of course, Top Gun Maverick. Now, I don't have time to cover all the adventures, but I'll take you to 2019, where Paramount Pictures basically came to us and said, please make 2 epic Mission Impossibles, okay? And then in 2020, we were preparing filming in Venice, Italy. And we were there, and the global pandemic hit. We were in post on Top Gun Maverick. We were there in Italy, literally, ready to roll. We could not progress filming without Christopher McQuarrie and his family's commitment. Heather, who's here today, thank you. Gigi, Wilhelmina. I want you to know I love you guys, and I am forever grateful, because we could not have commenced, and we could not have continued without your all's consent and your understanding of the importance of continuing these films. And McHugh did it. And he didn't do it for personal glory, not just to make a film, but truly in recognition of the responsibility that we have for others, for our industry, in recognition that to lead is to serve. We were able to keep people working safely throughout that time period, keep creating, keep educating our industry and countries on how you can continue to film, to create with and during such a devastating time. Now, these obstacles, these challenges, these sacrifices, okay, we all experience these very much so in our own ways, in our own personal lives. But in spite of these barriers, because of Christopher McQuarrie, we're able to keep that show on the road. We were able to deliver Top Gun Maverick to theaters and these 2 Mission Impossible films that he wrote, directed, and produced in the face of being shut down several times due to the pandemic and 2 industry strikes. This man forged through it all and was able to create epic adventures for global audiences with the most complex, the most complicated, and the most daring practical action sequences that are literally have ever been filmed in cinema history. So Christopher McQuarrie, McHugh, you are not only my dear friend, my creative brother, director of the year, you are an artist for all time. You are a modern-day Thalberg. You are our modern-day Thalberg. You are an asset to every artist, studio, and global audience that you live to serve. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to Christopher McQuarrie, Director of the Year, McHugh.
Tom knows I really cannot stand compliments. He's enjoying this immensely.
Yes, I am.
I've written this down, and I'm going to make a mess of it. I have several people to thank, and the first one, obviously, that I want to thank is Tom Cruise. I also want to thank you for clearing up the Jonathan Lipnicki thing.
It's still going to live on.
For his sake, by the way, for his sake, thank you. If I've learned anything from my 30 years in this business, that long-term success relies on 2 things: vision and trust. And almost 20 years ago, at a time when no one would hire me, I had my first meeting with Tom. And he didn't know it, but I had just decided to quit the movie business. As such, there was no agenda. So for 3 hours, we just talked about life and movies and really just our love of movies. And based partly on that meeting and based partly on a screenplay that he read that no one else would, and a directorial debut that almost no one watched, Tom saw the potential for the director that's standing here holding this award right now. That's Tom Cruise. So Tom, I'm here today because of your vision and trust. It's been an honor and a privilege to work with you, to learn from you, and to place you in harm's way for other people's entertainment. But truly, I love you, brother. I really do. And it means the world to me that you've trusted me and that you have supported me, you've pushed me beyond anything I ever thought I was capable of doing. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Love you.
To paraphrase Tim Burton's Ed Wood, it's the only thing harder than being a dreamer is being the family of one. And I really want to thank my wife, Heather, and our daughters, Gigi and Wilhelmina. Your support, your understanding, the years of enduring the life of circus people. Without you, all of this work, everything we've done would have no meaning. And I love you and thank you for your support. Thank you very much. Of course, my thanks to Michael O'Leary, Mitch Newhouser, Matt Pollack, and the entire Cinema United team for this award. Obviously, thank you very much. And I'm here to thank all of you. I'm here to thank everyone in this room who works every day to keep the cinematic experience alive. We strive to create a fragile, ephemeral magic through story and a shared experience. And it's a medium I love with all of my heart, and it's brought me a lifetime of joy, and it's brought my life purpose. And I really mean it. I thank every one of you for keeping that experience alive.
Thank you.
That purpose comes down to the audience for whom we work and to whom I offer my deepest gratitude. I speak for Tom and myself when I say we would not be where we are without the audience, and the audience wouldn't be there without you. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.